Welcome, everyone. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if I can do that. Oh, I think I need to not record it just yet. Let's see. But yeah, here we go. Okay, here we go. Good. Okay, there are little boxes you can see. You can do, I hope you can just see my screen and you're not distracted by all the people. You can change your settings if you'd like. So we're going to talk about detox, our exposure to toxins, how we reset, renew, and re-energize. And you're already started. I'm so proud of all of you. The definition of toxins, when we talk about toxins for this particular presentation and this particular workshop and program, we're talking about environmental toxins. We're not talking about biotoxins. We're not talking about lipoproteins. We're not talking about molds or anything like that. We're talking about environmental toxins, chemicals and metals. It's no longer whether or not we have toxins, it's how much toxins we actually have. Toxic burden is a total accumulation of toxins that the body's dealing with. And these toxins come from a variety of sources, but initial exposure actually begins while a baby is still in the womb. There's 287 chemicals that were detected in umbilical cord blood of newborns. This is a study that was done in 2005. Think of how many more chemicals we have created over this 20-year period of time, almost 20 years, right? And 180 of those chemicals were known to cause cancer. 217 are toxic to the brain and nervous system, and 208 were shown to cause birth defects. Throughout our daily life, we're in constant contact. And so we're going to talk about where all these are coming from because they affect our health so much. Out of the 212 chemicals that were tested, almost all Americans had all of these chemicals. And we're going to talk about 6 in particular, but 212 is a lot of chemicals for one body to handle. Flame retardants are probably the most popular because they're not just in pajamas, they are in your couch and in your carpet. So if you have new carpet and new couches and you get headaches or feeling ill with new building, new cabinetry, things like that, not in the cabinetry, but any material, it's probably because one of the components they put in is flame retardants, which is amazing and wonderful and a great thing because there's a lot of, all the fires. There was just a fire recently that took down a lot of people. It was really tragic. And if you can keep the body from getting attacked by the flames, it's a good thing. The problem is, this is known to cause problems. We know it causes problems, and it is better if you're an adult to actually wear something that's not called pajamas, because by definition, if it's pajamas, they have to put flame retardants in them. Bisphenol A is our second one we're going to talk about. I talk a lot about this in my practice because of all the plastics we use. And I really encourage people to use glass and stainless steel instead of plastic. So BPA is found in plastic products. It's also found in the linings of the cans of food that we eat. More than 90% of people tested by the CDC have been found to have BPAs in their body. Sheryl Crow really thinks her breast cancer, when she had it years ago, was from the water bottles that she kept in her car. And when we put water bottles in your car, and either the cold condensing it or the heat expanding it, that breaks down the plastic, and those plastics get into your water and you drink it. And those BPAs are very harmful to breast tissue specifically. One more thing, I'm going to go back for a minute. The BPAs, if it says BPA free, does not mean that it's healthier. It just means that it didn't have all the testing and all the correlation and the connection to the diseases yet. And yet is a in big, bold words, right? So we really want to step away from plastics altogether. You'll see that Jill transformed her whole kitchen to glass instead of plastic. And that's what I will encourage you all to do. Drinking containers should be glass or stainless steel. Just try to do your best and never, ever put plastics in the microwave to heat up food. Never, ever. And don't even put your like citric acid or your tomato sauces in plastic, because those are so acidic, you'll see them pull away. If you're my age, you'll know that my mom kept 1 million Cool Whip containers, and you could see the red lining of the spaghetti sauce that she kept in it years after, because it would denature the plastic and it would get into the food. You just don't want that. Okay, the next one is cookware. The cookware is non-stick that we want to avoid. Now, ceramic does seem to be a better alternative. The jury's still out on how safe it is. We know it's safer than the PFOAs that are in the Teflon coated pans. Best yet would be stainless steel or glass. And we know it causes lots of liver, immune system, reproductive problems. Acrylamide is our number 4. And this is something that happens when foods, especially carbohydrate foods, are cooked at high temperatures, which is why there's a piece of fried chicken on the plate in front of you. French fries, fried chicken, even coffee, which is another reason why we had you go off coffee for this period of time, because they all have high acrylamide contents. It's also used in other products, plastics and cosmetics, but there is a link to cancer after a lot of exposure. So you want to step away from things like that. Number 5 is mercury. And I think I told you guys yesterday that we just had a patient do a lab test with us and she had high mercury. You want to make sure that the fish you're eating is wild caught, and the smaller fish, like the tuna, skipjack tuna is a really good one. Herring, sardines, the smaller fish are great. The big fish like shark and swordfish are no's. That's just a no. They live too long. They accumulate way too many toxins from the ocean, and you are consuming that. Mercury, any heavy metal will cause more neurological problems. So tingling, neuropathies, nerve pain, fibromyalgia. Those are the things you want to correlate, like tremors and brain fog, with heavy metals. And we have a test that we do that determines your level of exposure. Okay, next one is something we find a lot in secondhand smoke, and it was a gasoline additives. It's since been not used anymore in the United States, but it is still found in people's bodies because they stored it in containers that leaked, and they get into the water system and they can still be detected in bodies, and it can cause neurological and reproductive problems. But secondhand smoke is another thing. So now we know. I was really, I got all over one of my younger patients' case when I found out he smoked, because at that age, like the younger generation, they totally know better. So I was all over his case about that. Okay, keep in mind, this is only 6 of the 212 chemicals that were tested and found in most Americans. So how do you know if the toxins you've been exposed to are causing you health problems? You want to look for the symptoms of this kind of burden, which is fatigue and depression, headaches, brain fog, memory problems, balance problems, and tremors. The last 3 are more heavy metal related, but all of them can be either heavy metals or other environmental toxins. And of course, these symptoms can also come from thyroid problems, anemias, blood sugar problems, which is why we're doing the whole food thing too. conditions and diseases that can come about from too much of the chemical exposure that we're talking about. Allergies and asthma is really big and very common in young kids. And then it develops even further as adults. Diabetes, obesity, chemical sensitivity. We already talked about fibromyalgia, fertility problems, birth defects, chronic infections, and autoimmune diseases. There is research, especially when it comes to dioxins. Dioxins, we know, promotes type 2 diabetes in humans. You think that it's just the way you're eating. It's not just that you're eating too much sugar. It's also the chemicals you're exposed to. And back when they were spraying Agent Orange, they found that they had so much left over that Monsanto was able to repurpose it as a weed and weed killer for our gardens. So we use it so often, and it does a really good job at making us have really beautiful green lawns, but your health is at risk when you use it or when you're around it. So try to avoid it whenever possible. It is also present in farm-raised fish, dairy, and beef products, once again, which is why we want to do grass-fed, wild, as organic as you possibly can get, wild-caught fish, things like that. Exposure to heavy metal toxins is almost unavoidable because it's everywhere. It's in the air we breathe, it's in the food we eat, and it's in the water we drink. And what can you do? And that's what you're doing. You are doing two things. We are reducing your exposure and we're detoxing your body. You can reduce your exposure further by using chemical-free products in your home, such as soaps and detergents. When you're looking at shampoos and conditioners, look for paraben-free and phthalate-free. So parabens and phthalates are known to cause problems with our immune system, our hormonal system, endocrine disruption. Sorry, that's Spencer. And we want to avoid them. Even commercial, well-known brands are now getting on the bandwagon and going off of parabens and phthalates. Even Suave, I think, has one that's more natural that does not have those toxins in it. Taking off your shoes before entering can keep those pesticides that are on the lawn out of your house. And so that would be a good thing, especially when you have a dog and he's also tracking it in and then climbing on your lap and all that. You want to avoid that. Reduce chlorine exposure by attaching filters to your shower heads, because chloroform, which is toxic, is released when chlorinated water is heated. Also, if you get a filtration system for your house, it will help with the water you drink and cook with. We went from just having a filter system in our kitchen to a whole house filter system. So everything we use with water, every tap and every shower head has filtered water in our house at this point. It took us a long time to get there, but we did because we felt it was that important. And one of the things that happens is, birth control pills that women take for birth control or to control their periods and their heavy bleeding, it does not get completely filtered out of our water filtration system. And so that's another way we're getting more hormones, much more estrogen in our bodies because of that. And we could talk all about estrogens. In fact, there are some toxins that are sprayed on corn products that can change little boy frogs into girl frogs that can actually lay eggs. So toxins are a big deal and they actually do a lot of damage. 90% of our toxin exposure to things like PCBs and dioxins actually come from the food we eat, which is why we want to be so careful. 35% of the foods we purchase have measurable pesticide residues, which make their way into our body. We want to reduce it by eating the fruits and vegetables avoiding the dirty dozen list and choosing the foods on the clean 15, which you have in your guidebooks. And here's a list of your dirty dozen. Strawberries and spinach come in at the top. This is the 4th year that strawberries and spinach rated top for dirty dozen. So you definitely want to get those organic. The lowest in pesticides, avocado and sweet corn, have just a minuscule amount of pesticides found in them. So those are safer to have non-organic if you want to save some money. Reducing your exposure. Conventionally raised meat and dairy products have consistently been tested and found to have the highest levels of hormone disrupting chemicals in them, which is why you want grass-fed organic whenever possible. So much antibiotics are fed to all the livestock and the animal feed. It's highly sprayed with chemicals. It's just not healthy for us. So the once it's eaten, it's passed into your digestive system. It even goes into, if you're pregnant, it gets into the cord blood of your babies. It's just something we want to clean up when we can. So how do we do it? We choose free range, hormone, antibiotic free, dairy, meat, eggs whenever possible. The recombinant growth hormone, the RGH, that is a hormone that was added that the company said that's not a problem, and the government agreed with them. So you aren't allowed to say that it's bad for you on the labels of organic milk, but you can say it's RGH free, but the government has shown that there's no problem with it, which is their go around, because we know there is a problem with added hormones in our food supply. Choosing fresh cold water fish in place of farm raised. Hang on, I'm going to start more. Sorry, I should have done that a while ago. When eating organic, when possible, eat organic. Always wash your produce and peel it when possible. Phthalates are the toxin that's known to increase breast cancer. We talked about this briefly in shampoos and in conditioners. And it gets into your foods when you use plastic. So try to avoid that. We gave you a glass drinking straw. All the more reason to use glass. And there is a wonderful straw company that I had met named Strawsome. We didn't get these particular straws from them, but they have beautiful design straws that you can look into. And I will put a link for them in our Zoom chat. Store food in non-plastic containers and bags whenever possible. Wax paper bags are okay. Parchment is okay. Just try to avoid plastic, especially the softer the plastic, the more harm it does. If you think of boys or men who have breasts, more breast tissue, that they have more estrogen in their bodies, and they would benefit from a detox as well. You never want to microwave in plastic containers, and avoid perfumes. Now, perfumes are a toxic blend of proprietary scents and chemicals. They do not have to disclose what's in it. They do not have to disclose how dangerous it is. Silicone Ziplocs. Yes, you can do silicone. Silicone's just fine. Oops. Let's go back. Okay, I guess we'll do, oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, what else can you do? So that is cleaning up your environment. Now we want to clean out our bodies. We want to, detoxification is normalizing the body's ability to process and excrete toxins. And we want to, as we decrease the outside, we want to clean the inside. Factors that can negatively affect how well you excrete toxins. Remember, we talked about the MTHFR. That is the genetic component. Remember, if you can't convert folic acid to methylated folate, then you have this inability to detoxify well. Once again, if you're walking in an aisle that is high with perfumes or detergents, and you get headaches or feel sick, you're more likely to have this inability to convert and this poor detoxification. Environmental exposure, unhealthy diet and lifestyle. If you are not pooping, that's a problem. Make sure you're pooping every day, that it's not difficult. If it is, you talk to me and we will remedy that right away. Because if you have a slow bowel, then it's just going to sit there and you're going to reabsorb those toxins through your digestive wall. How do you know if you need to detoxify? Well, you have symptoms. If you have muscle aches, if you have difficulty concentrating, if you have fatigue, if you have food sensitivities or chemical sensitivities, and also diseases like fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue. If you're suffering from heavy metal toxicity, you're going to see more neurological symptoms, irritability, headaches, lethargy, fatigue, weakness, abdominal pain, tremors, kidney distress, elevated liver enzymes. But of course, those can be from other things as well, and we look at all the sources. You took a detoxification questionnaire. I'm very curious to know if you rated in the mild or the more severe section, so please share. The body's detoxification pathways, we're going to talk about how the body works. When the first thing, this is in a healthy system, in a healthy liver, because that's your main detoxification organ. Toxins, which are fat soluble, remember, we store them in the fat to keep them safe from other healthy tissue. These toxins are transported from the intestines to the liver. Step 2 is the liver undergoes phase 1 detoxification. This neutralizes certain toxins and makes them not dangerous to the surrounding tissues. The next phase, phase 2, is when the unneutralized toxins, the ones that are left, get to transform into a water-soluble compound that you remove through kidneys and your detoxification organ systems. I don't know why that happened. Let's go back. There we go. Let's see. Brenda says, where was that questionnaire? That was in the first email, and we will send it to you. And I will also link it in the Facebook chat. Okay. Okay, in an unhealthy liver, when you have an unhealthy liver, toxins are not able to be detoxified at the speed that they're brought into the liver. That's like someone who is drinking alcohol and they keep drinking alcohol and they keep drinking alcohol to the point where their liver can't handle it and it becomes overburdened and they might get cirrhosis, something like that. That's an extreme example, but this, even in these lesser cases, when we see those liver enzymes go up, we know that the liver has gone way far past its ability to detoxify, and it's heavily burdened at that point. We want to catch it now and keep cleaning out our liver, which is why you're doing this detox, because we want to do this periodically to keep our liver healthy so that we stay healthy. In these cases, toxins build up, recirculate into the blood, and contribute to long-term poor health. So not just one exposure, now you're getting multiple exposures to the same toxins. These unneutralized fat-soluble toxins can be stored in body tissues, such as fat, the brain, and nervous system, causing systemic symptoms and future disease processes. No. It just ended. It's not what I wanted to do. Okay. So more actions to take. Let's go slideshow from current side. Get a water filtration system, eat clean whole foods like we're talking about, and make sure you have at least one bowel movement a day and walk daily. The program that you're on right now has the right nutrients, vitamins, and herbs to balance and to help with the whole detoxification process. It will help pull out toxins and get your whole system to get cleaned of the toxins that you have so you can enjoy your life again with less of a body burden. You already got started by doing the detoxification questionnaire. If you have mild symptoms, we recommend the 10-day program. If anyone rated really severe, talk to me because we will want to continue that program a little bit longer. Eating 1 serving of protein and 2 servings of vegetables every 3 to 4 hours in a 12-hour or less time frame is what I've been preaching to you over and over again. You're doing a great job taking that on. Just keep working on it. You can give it some wiggle room, but at the beginning, do your best to stick to it. The supplements you're taking, sleep, drink your water, and chill out. Then you do the questionnaire again at the end, and let's see if there's any change in your symptoms. After this, we're going to talk down the line. In a few days, we're going to talk about what's next in regard to your health to keep maintaining good results and to get the results and the goals that you're wanting with this program. So if you're not already connected with us on Facebook or Instagram or on our newsletter, please do. And that was that. And we will take questions at this time.
Sue had a question early on. I didn't know the answer to. What about silver fillings in the teeth over 50 years old?
So that's a great question. So mercury amalgams in the teeth, number one, we just don't want to put them in anymore. There are still dentists in poor areas that will put them in. They're cheap, but they're not recommended. Make sure your kids never get them. We know better now. The problem is once they are in, taking them out can be just as dangerous. So you really want to evaluate if you absolutely need them to come out. If you do and you want them out, you need to find a doctor or a dentist who does something called a dental dam, which really protects the rest of the body. It like puts a little sheath in the mouth where only that tooth is exposed. So any debris that comes out will be captured and you won't be ingesting it. But it's gaseous. When they break it open to take out those pieces, you can inhale the mercury. And so I don't recommend you taking it out unless you absolutely have to. If the tooth is broken down and it's going to be, repaired anyways, because you have a broken filling or something like that, just get it out and just trust that, the best way to do is just to do like a detox like this so that we're removing the metals, the heavy metals out. Good. Susan.
So I happen to have quite a few pins and screws after some orthopedic procedures. I have a lot in both feet and in my left wrist.
Do you know what they're made out of?
No, I do not. I
They're
would
usually
need to go back.
They're usually titanium. And titanium has not been shown to have any adverse effects unless you're actually allergic to it.
No, I wouldn't. If I had an allergy, wouldn't
would
I
know by
have
now.
know by now? Okay. All right. That's good.
Yeah.
And a question about things like toothpaste and deodorants and all those other things. Are you going to offer perhaps some different brand names or certain products that don't have sodium lauryl sulfate? Or
Right.
I'd also appreciate your take on fluoride as well.
Okay, so those are great questions. So I will touch about those right now. So first, fluoride. Fluoride is an interesting thing because it is a halogen. Not halogen, it's a halide. And there's halides are on the periodic table. You'll see chloride, fluoride, bromide, and iodine. And those compete for receptor sites. Iodine is actually needed. And if you have too much fluoride, bromide, chloride, it will actually bind to the receptor sites and not give room for iodine, and you'll become iodine deficient. And Dr. David Brownstein talks all about iodine. If you don't know him, he has some books around. Really great to pick up those books and read about that. Now, I do not think fluoride needs to be in the toothpaste. It's already in our water. A lot of people have fluoride sensitivities. A lot of people have sodium lauryl sulfate sensitivities, which is also in toothpaste. It's what makes it foamy. And sodium lauryl sulfate often gives canker sores or mouth sores. So if you're prone to that, you might want to choose a toothpaste that does not have that. It took me forever to find a toothpaste I like forever. I just suffered with toothpaste for years. I actually liked one from Trader Joe's that was fennel, but they don't carry that anymore. So, and I don't like the mint Tom's one at all. I found
I
one
use
called,
Jason.
oh, Jason's okay, but I don't like the taste. So I found one I did like the taste. It's called Rise Well. It's expensive. And it's so funny because just recently I bought, I was excited because I saw that it was like on discount. There was 4 tubes. I'm like, Noah can have some because Noah is sensitive to sodium lauryl sulfate, my younger son. And so he gets mouth sores when he has regular toothpaste. And he's been using his girlfriend's toothpaste. I'm not going to go into that, but, and he's been getting mouth sores. So he's like, Mom, I need new toothpaste. So I got these 4 tubes and they came in the mail the other day. They're this big, 4 little itsy bitsy. I'm like, you can have them, and I have to order some more. But they usually come in a regular big tube, but it's expensive. But I like it. It doesn't have sodium lauryl sulfate, doesn't have fluoride in it. Antiperspirants and deodorants. There is not an antiperspirant that is on the market that is without aluminum. So you're looking for something that says deodorant. The closest to an antiperspirant would be like a salt stick, you know, those hard like salt. It's like a rock salt. That sometimes works for some people, but really it's decreasing the bacteria. And so you're looking at, I do like Native. Native's one of the ones I do like. And it comes in a lot of different scents. Now let's talk about Lume. Has anyone heard Lume, Lume? Jill, I'm gonna let you talk about this one.
Well, it doesn't smell very good. Like when you put it out, it smells like somebody like dry spit or something. Like if you were to lick your hand and then smell your hand, it's gross.
It's worse than that.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
So it's an
I don't use it.
enzyme. It's an enzyme that breaks down bacteria, and then you don't smell for like 3 days. You don't have to reapply it for like 3 days. Mary Lynn. Oh, you have to take yourself off mute.
Yep.
I've been using Native for a long time, and it did take a while for my body to get adjusted to it. Because I'm a heavy sweater, but it does work. And I've noticed that my level of perspiration maybe even has gone down. So I recommend it. My kids use it. So
yeah. So there's a toothpaste. There's an deodorant. Miriam?
Yeah, Everyman Jack also seems to work. My boys use it. I have a 20-year-old and a 16-year-old.
Say the
and
name
a
again.
15-year-old Everyman Jack.
Yes, I actually got that for my kids, and I like that one.
I even got my husband to switch over, and they also have a bunch of different scents. And they're actually the only company that I know of that makes a spray.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, it's hard to come by. It's very hard to come by, and it's not cheap, but they do make it. So
if you go to Whole Foods, typically Whole Foods will not have any fluoride toothpaste. So you have like a lot of choices. They will not have aluminum in their deodorant. So you'll have a lot of choices, but those are some examples. Did we answer your question, Susan? Was that,
yes, and yeah, and I've been using lots of different things from looking at even an environmental vantage point of perspective where I don't use laundry detergent that even comes in plastic. I use something from Kind Laundry, or I use products from Norwex, or I use Anne Marie Gianni cosmetic. 2 years I haven't really been wearing any cosmetics, so
that's great.
yeah, I've been doing a lot of these things, but I always love hearing more and new products and things like that. So
well, I do know that the Native brand now has a non-plastic deodorant that it's like a cardboard roll up.
I've seen
The
it.
one, the other thing about Native though, they were bought by, I don't know if it was Colgate Palmolive or
you
some
serious?
large, yeah. So unfortunately, so you got to watch the ingredients in it now
Yes, now you
since they've
do.
been bought by a corporation.
Okay, everyone be on the lookout and keep us all informed.
Valerie has a question.
Valerie?
No, I was gonna say I was using Native for a while, but now I've been using Hey Human.
Oh, I've tried
You
that.
heard that brand? I like that actually a lot better than the Native, and it
Yeah.
comes in the cardboard stick.
Perfect. Good. Miriam?
As I was only comment on fluoride, I still have like little kids at home and they use fluoride-free toothpaste. And believe it or not, their teeth are actually better ever since, I mean, it's been a while already, but the dentist used to be like, oh, this with your teeth, that with your teeth. And ever since we stopped using fluoride toothpaste, everyone's teeth feel better and are actually healthier than they were with fluoride.
My kids never had cavities growing up and they never had fluoride
Yeah.
toothpaste.
Yeah, that's what I have with my youngest.
Yeah. Other questions? Okay, so thank you for participating tonight. Oh, let me see what's on the chat before we go. Alana says fluoride is in most public waters, but much of it is filtered out in the household filters. And many people drink plastic bottles that may not have fluoride. And Walita is a good deodorant, says Brenda. Good. Risewell, yes, Brenda, it's called Risewell. Good, good, good. Yes, silicone Ziplocs. Silicone is still good. So personally, I used it as in baking, like a baking cake pan, and I tasted it and I didn't like that at all. So I guess beware. And that is all.
About silicone straws.
Oh, silicone straws. Yep, those are good.
Yeah, good.
So very good. Okay. Another option for teeth can be tooth powder. That's right. There's a few I'm trying to remember. I don't remember the company I used to use. I used to use that as well. So those are great examples. If you have any other contributions, please put it in the Zoom, in the Facebook chat. Tomorrow, I think we're going to be talking about sleep. So we're going to talk about the ins and outs and where it comes from. And we're going to talk about all the things that have to do with sleep. So please join us tomorrow and we will continue with the 10-day detox. If you have any questions or concerns, if you're having trouble at all, don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah.
Jill is going to take over now so that we have
Our little winners of tonight.
Yes.
Well, first, I want to remind everybody, we're not in the office tomorrow. So if you do have any questions you want to ask us, maybe email or directly on the Facebook page, because I'll be on that. And probably so will Dr. Stacy. So just FYI. But we're back to business on Friday. So tonight, I don't know if everyone was on the call, but Ellen Callahan, Sue Carter, and Teresa Calvary. And I already assigned numbers to everybody because I figured it's going to get a little confusing as we start because I already numbered all the gifts. So Ellen Callahan, Sue Carter, and Teresa Calvary, or Cavalry, sorry. You can come to the office and pick up your fun prizes or let me know and I can meet you somewhere and drop it off to you. So, and Marcy, Dr. Francis offered to bring it home.
Yeah, if you live close to my home in Farmington Hills, I
Yeah.
can put it on my doorstep and you're welcome to come and get it through there. Very good. You guys have
Is
a
it okay if I come next week and pick it up at the office?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can come whenever
Yeah.
you want.
Perfect.
Okay,
Perfect.
was this helpful? Tell me if this was helpful. Did this give you some clarity of why you're doing it? Awesome. Okay.
Yep.
Have a great night, guys.
All right, good
See
night.
you Friday.
Night. I'm going to stick
Bye.
around if anyone has questions.
I do have one question.
Mhm.
So drinking a lot will cause you to use the bathroom more often. But today, at some point, my urine was actually like neon yellow. Like it looked like, it was like scary. I'm like, it's neon. It was like, and it's not because I wasn't drinking enough. Is
Did I
that
not
normal?
say that? I was pretty sure I said that. Three
Orange.
things
Well, you said it
happen.
would be like orange. This
Oh,
is like
yeah.
neon yellow. I'm like, okay, this is like something from Chernobyl.
Yeah,
It was really scary.
right. So the three things, that was one, don't freak, because it
Oh,
is.
no, I
gonna
didn't
turn-
freak out. It was just so weird.
It is. It's a wild color and probably not something you would normally see in nature, but you do.
Okay.
Very good.
I have a
Perfect.
question for you.
Yeah.
So today I spaced out my Renew for like my first and my third meal.
Yep.
And then I realized that I really wasn't going to need a fourth meal.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to figure out, I may end up so that I can actually sit and pretend to be eating dinner with my family in my own way in the evening. Does it matter if those two Renew and the supplements are had that close in time versus spacing them out for first, third versus first, second?
If it's 3 hours apart, that's no problem.
Okay.
And
And I was pleased to find that I did not think I was warned it was going to be so awful that it wasn't that bad.
I'm
It
glad
wasn't
you-
pleasurable, but it wasn't that bad.
I was going to say the same thing. I was expecting it to be really bad and I was really scared and I drank it both times without a straw and it wasn't as bad as I thought.
Good. I'm so glad. But aren't you glad I warned you the other way so that it would be a pleasant surprise?
Yes. Yes.
For sure.
See you Friday evening. Tomorrow is the symphony.
Oh, enjoy, Susan.
Enjoy.
Thank you. See you Friday.
See you
Bye-bye.
Friday.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
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 I have a question.
Bye.
Phyllis,
have a
how are you
question.
feeling?
I'm feeling okay.
Okay, good.
See you later.
Yep,
All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you.
you're welcome. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
So Stacy, what do you recommend if you have excessive gas because you're eating so many vegetables that your body's not used to?
That's a great question. So I'm going to suggest you cook your vegetables.
Okay.
Okay.
All
right.
If that doesn't work, then we're going to give you some enzymes to help you break down your vegetables. Does that work
Okay,
for you?
Terrific.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
You're
Have a
welcome.
great day.
You too. How you guys doing?
I have a question.
Go for it.
I feel a little bit lost.
Okay, then let's clarify.
So I started
is-
my day well.
Tell me how that went. What did you start with?
I did an eggs omelet,
Good.
which was 4 eggs, just trying to look at the, protein. But there was 1 full egg and then egg whites. 3
Right,
eggs.
that's perfect.
And then I put spinach in. I made it like an omelet
Wonderful.
and spiced it up, obviously, just spices.
Sure.
I've been drinking lots of tea, blah, blah, blah. So
What time was your eggs and spinach?
about 10.
Okay.
So then I was out and about, came back, wasn't fast enough for me to cook. 'Cause by the time I was really reviewing,
Mhm.
what to eat is like taking me too much time to do
Okay.
that homework.
Mhm.
But then I came back and I'm like, I have to eat. It's past this. It's 4 hours and I really needed to eat food, but I couldn't get to the proper food because it required cooking. So I'm like, okay, I'll do the shake. And I'm like, all right, I guess I need vegetables. So I had the jicama from
So
Trader.
what time is it that you're having the shake and the
yeah.
jicama?
Almost 3.
Okay. So you went from 10 to 3 without food?
I couldn't. That or I eat junk.
Okay, well, I didn't want you to eat junk. Don't do that.
I
Okay.
know. So
3
I ran
o'clock?
home.
3 o'clock, you had the Renew and you had the jicama.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. So then after that, of course, during this time, I had time to cook properly. So I had tuna and I put it in the oven and I took broccoli frozen, Trader's has I got a bunch of vegetables from Trader's. So I got broccoli, I filled up broccoli and peas. So I steamed all that, put it in the oven and had that cooking and ate that and I'm done. Like
What
I'm
time
done
was
for the
that?
day.
6:15.
$6:15.
Good. Okay.
So but I'm done for the day. Like I'm
That's fine.
ready to get in my pajamas to go to
Okay.
bed.
But you only had one serving of the shake, right?
That's the detail.
Okay,
So,
that's
but
okay. That's okay.
uh-huh.
Let's try tomorrow.
Correct.
Just try to fit it in before you're like done with the eating for the day.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm not hungry and now I don't want to, I mean, I can do the shake, obviously, because it's liquid. But then I'm like, okay, not supposed to really eat anything before you go to bed. I go
Right.
to bed early because I get up, I'm tired.
Understood.
So, so I'm ready to go to bed.
So
9:30, 10.
how about you have it at 10 a.m. and have less eggs?
Well, I mean, obviously that was today. I'm not doing that tomorrow. Right.
Right?
I figured that out. My problem is I didn't have the second shake. Should I have now the second shake?
No,
After 3 hours, forget about it because I
Yep.
screwed it up already.
no, you didn't screw it up at all.
Well, I only had one shake today instead of two.
Totally okay.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything then.
No, today's
Okay.
done.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you're going to try to get 2 shakes in.
All right. And the other little detail is with every shake, this whole 3 times a day, the 15 to 20, yeah, that was part of it. So 15 to 20 grams of protein. But also I have to have vegetables with it. So I'm like, if I'm having a shake, I have to have vegetables with it. So now I have to run and get a NutriBullet. It's like, I don't have
No.
any.
You don't need that. All you need to do is cut up some peppers and cut up some carrots. That's all you need to do.
So like what I did with the jicama worked because I happen to have it. The one with the Trader and the chili that you taught me about, and that was great.
Yep, you just do that with the shake.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You have the shake, you eat the vegetables.
Yeah. Just in the morning to eat raw vegetable.
Then don't, so then eat
Yeah.
so why don't you do the shake in the morning?
Yeah.
Also have your omelet, just don't put so many eggs in, or just make it all egg whites.
Yeah.
Like maybe 1 whole egg and 1 egg white, and keep your spinach in it. So you having that's going to get you to
Yeah.
like 22, 23 grams of protein. That's perfectly fine.
Okay. So for example, tomorrow, can I just do the shake? Because I'm used to doing power shakes. So it's not too heavy before I exercise. I'm going swimming at 11 o'clock. I go to the pool. So can't have a big breakfast before I go. I can't get up and eat so I'm like, I can do a shake. That doesn't bother me at all. It's great. It feels good. I'm used to that anyway. So, and then go swimming, and after, the 3 hours, I can have a proper meal.
Okay.
So can I just do the shake? I guess. is my
So-
question.
I want you to get used to having vegetables, but yes, you can just do the shake and then go work out, and then just make sure
Okay.
you have vegetables in at
Sure.
least 2 other meals.
Okay. All right. Because I'm like, maybe I didn't know if there was a mixture that if it's not done that way.
No,
I'm
it's
like,
not
all
that.
right.
It's that
Okay.
I want you to have all the nutrients to repair your insulin receptor sites.
Yeah, no, I do get enough vegetables. I
Okay.
love them. So
Good.
that's not a problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right. That was it.
Is that clearer? You think you can do that?
We'll see. We'll try tomorrow, see how it works.
Okay,
Thanks.
let me know.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
Great. Have a nice evening. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye.
Bridget, do you have any
Hi.
questions?
I'm doing good.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you
I'm
by
good.
a fire? Do you have a
I
fire?
am. Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It keeps going out on me, but yeah, it's really cozy. I'm
Nice.
chilling. I'm doing my chill.
Good. It's good for you.
Well, thank you for getting me. I feel like I'm up to speed on everything. Thanks for those phone calls today. I really appreciate
Absolutely. I'm
that.
so sorry that we had the wrong address.
It's okay. You know what? No harm, no foul. We're back in business. It's all good.
Excellent. Okay. Be well. How's your hubby?
He's doing good. I want him to detox though, because the things you were talking about tonight, boy, it hit some of his marks. So
Right.
yeah.
Good. Good.
Yeah. Well,
He's
thank you. And
next.
yeah, we'll get in to see you soon. But
Sounds good. Good
All right.
night.
Take care. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.